So stage two, the radical stage. Number one, Louis is going to make a big mistake. This new regime or government, they're going to be working to create a new kind of monarchy and expand the right to vote. The the initial stage, that moderate stage, is not looking for a complete replacement of the king. They're looking to limit his power, remove the absolute part, and create some sort of constitutional monarchy, probably not dissimilar to the British at the time, where the king's power is limited and that there is some power in the hands of the people. However, a lot of other things are going to start to impact what's happening here. One thing is that there's a huge food shortage. People are starving. And again, it's the people who are part of this revolution that are starving. The rumor starts floating that the royal family was hoarding food. It led to a riot led mostly by women. This is like the bread riots that occur. The women literally march on Paris. They are that fed up with the system that is in place and the depravity of the royal family. Um, they've lost complete confidence in their king. And to begin with, the king is out at Versailles, and they are forced to come back to Paris and face the problems that France is facing. One thing that does happen initially is that there is a constitution written, and it's written in 1791. And when it passed, it gave a ton of power to this new middle class, the bourgeoisie in France. However, the problem is going to be that Louis is not entirely on board. So, during the early part of the revolution, war had broken out. Now, there's a lot of reason for this warfare. One thing that people believed was that possibly Louis had, enticed these nations to invade to try to stop the revolution. It may have been countries finding France in a vulnerable state, but they're going to be fighting with Prussia and Austria. And again, it reflects very poorly on the royal family because they felt that this war had been encouraged to fight off the revolutionaries. The next thing that happens is that the National Assembly votes to remove the monarchy. They abolish the station of the king. And at this point, this is the radical stage taking over. They have reached a point where the people in charge do not believe there is any value in keeping the king. It's no longer about creating a limited monarchy. It is about completely replacing him with a new system, a very liberal system that goes much further than the original revolutionaries had planned. So Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, after trying to flee France and being caught, they were tried for treason, found guilty, and lost their heads to the guillotine in 1793-94. One crazy fact about the guillotine, so this is a guillotine over here if you've never seen one. What happens is this blade is dropped from a height and it beheads the person that is down below. And then you see there's baskets to catch it. The guillotine was believed to be a very humane way of dying at the time. And the shocking part is that the last public execution in France took place in 1939, and that France didn't officially on the books abolish the guillotine until 1981. Crazy. All right, so this radical group that takes over is called the Jacobins. They are, again, like I said, creating some sort of drastic change in France. That's what they're aiming to do. And they're going to push out all other factions, which means, there are royalists that still exist in France. It's not, when a revolution occurs, it's not, we know that when people want change for a nation, not everyone's on board. There's always going to be very, varied political takes on things. And so in the next video, we'll go over what the Jacobins actually change in France and see where the revolution starts to take a turn.